No technology. Wilderness and adventure. Tall, lively, bushy, straggly green spruce reach for the baby blue sky that begins to darken. Moss paints the ground along with other plants like berries, lichen, and weeds, flowers. A place of beauty and little civilization that's permanent, anyway. Excitement dances in the eyes of the students, as well as dazzling smiles and laughs that drip from their lips. Determination is written across facial features, and the thirst for adventure is present. A chance to witness the beauty of the outdoors and the fun it brings as well. And out of it all, a story begins. One day, while the students were out adventuring in the Copper River Delta, 3 exclamation points, capital letters, they happened upon a cave. The students, ever-willing adventurers, eagerly dove into the cave. After many hours of searching, they happened upon a much larger section of the cave, and somehow much darker. In the cave there was a large underground lake. In the middle of the lake there was an island, and on this island there was a strange little creature who was about 1.5 to 2 feet high, and around 2 to 3 feet long. It was yelling hysterically, waving around a baguette, perhaps. It seemed to notice the adventurers because it jumped in the water and swam towards the students. This scared the students out of their minds, so much so that they couldn't remember where the... where they came in. Okay. As the creature swam closer, they could make out the beret on its head. They could also make out some of its screams as human words in a French accent. Oh, ma precious! It seemed to say. A few seconds after they realized what it was saying, it was upon them, swinging its baguette like a golf club, and all the while warbling, ha ha ha, I must find my precious. But then all of the students summoned their dragon. The dragon and the creature battled. The students were horrified. They cheered for the dragon, but the monsters were closely matched. The students didn't want to risk it, so they ran for it. And they headed for the airboats. All the group put on their Superman helmets and donned their airboat jackets and revved up the airboats. All of a sudden, a wind picked up. The clouds swarmed in the blue sky, and the raindrops turned to ice. We all got out raincoats and jackets and kept going. We couldn't stop, or frostbite would be the way. All of us kept our eyes out for anything that we could only see 20 feet in front of us. There was a brown rectangle we could see ahead. Our airboat slowed down, and we jumped off, slowly approached with caution. The lid popped open. With a fright, we took a look. It looked like an endless hole that had a ladder. Cautiously, we clawed our way down the slippery ladder, dot, 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 leaving all behind us save the clothes on our backs and the 2 blue crayons. Descending into the hole, light trickled down above us, illuminating only the rungs below us. Our sense of time hopelessly confused. We reached the bottom and stepped off into the pungent pit. Upon our necks, in a substance with a viscosity of molasses, hands trailing the walls for direction, we trudged painfully slowly into the darkness, praying. There were no drop-offs or dips in the floor. Every step required a monumental effort. and by the time we traversed the entirety of the thick substance, our legs and arms were burning with a searing pain that sucked out the last of our resilience. Yet at last the liquid was gone, and we walked through an underground archway into blinding light, holding our 2 blue crayons.
I thought you forgot the 2 blue crayons.
They only have
Those
2
on the
crayons.
back, and there's
These 2 blue crowns would help me choose which path I was to take. The sky blue crayon meant that I would choose the path of life, while the greenish blue crown meant I would choose the path of fame. Fame? Fame. Today was supposed to be the day I would be choosing just one of these crayons. Then I would hand it to the Crayola god. Yet today went sort of differently. I went to hand the Crayola god the sky blue, but it was stolen. Who could this crown thief be? The students scanned this exotic, luscious, fantasy-like land with mouths gaping open, a dream-like land you could compare to Alice in Wonderland. Albeit the beautiful, surreal landscape, they reminded themselves to stay true to their search for the mysterious crayon thief. The students cautiously scoured the land for any clues. Minutes had only passed by, but the group's motivation and energy had already dampened. I am, seriously bored, you guys, complained Mimi. I'm, so hungry. Tell me again why we brought crayons instead of food, growled Brian. Come on, guys, we just need some tunes. That's when Katie broke out in chorus, singing Jack's new twist on Hakuna Matata. Everyone followed along as we marched, brimming with positive juju. Suddenly, Kat let out a piercing scream, alarming the group. Everyone's eyes followed the direction of her trembling hand. Huge wasp-like insects came flying towards their direction at an alarming speed. Everyone frantically ran, screaming, knowing they would surely catch up. Nellie mustered all her courage, grabbed her extra strength bug spray, and faced the wasp with a fierce look. I got you guys. Timing the spray so they were in perfect distance, all the wasps fled. Ay, Jusco! Amanda and Ferdinand said, Dear God, this is awkward. This feels like a round of the Hunger Games, Katie said, her breath. Almost like on cue, a sticky, smoky fog enveloped the group. All right, stay together and hold your breath. We're all going to make it through this, Fran said reassuringly. Looking at each one of us. Alas, the fog overwhelmed us all, and we collapsed one by one. Josie, the last one to black out, noticed a vague silhouette of a creature holding what seemed like a small blue crayon. Zimmy was the first to wake. He sat up and rubbed his eyes, wondering what had happened. The rest of the group was still unconscious around him. He could barely see them in the dim, torchlit cave. Zimmy tried to stand, but realized he couldn't. Why do my legs feel so weird, he thought. He looked down and saw, to his horror, he saw that his legs from the knee down were made of purple Play-Doh. Sacre bleu! He exclaimed. No, sacre purple! He exclaimed, poking the mushy purple substance replacing his calves. I see you have found the effects of my poisonous fog. A sinister voice came from the darkness. Zimmy looked around, unable to pinpoint the source of this voice. "Ha ha! Where are you?" he yelled to the darkness around him. "And what have you done with my precious legs? And our precious crayon?" The sinister voice cackled in delight. "I've been playing with your group since the beginning of time, just like you play with the purple Play-Doh your legs are now permanently made of. And as for your blue crayons, I've hidden them." "Tell me where you've hidden the crayons," Zimmy exclaimed, tugging at the mushy remains of his legs. "We need them to complete the mission." The voice chuckled. "Your crayons have been used to create your legs." "What?" Zimmy cried, utterly confused. "Are you saying that the crayons are inside my legs?" "Yes," the voice giggled. Zimmy froze. That voice, that laugh, that giggle. The evil voice was... The owner of the voice stepped into the light, revealing his brown hair, gray sweatshirt, and spaghetti sauce dripping from his mouth. "Brian?" As he stood there eagerly smiling, Brian thought to himself, "Is my laugh really that distinct?" Zimmy calmly answered as if he heard Brian's thoughts. Yes. Oui. Oui.
Who wrote this?
Wyatt gasped and stood confused for a while. Anyways, he put his evil self back on. "Yes, it is me. I have crayoned your legs."
Like, this doesn't make sense. I don't know.
But why? Zimmy cried in his fabulous French accent. "Like, because you were not fond of my great spaghetti. You and others do not worship my spaghetti. Shall be crayons. But it wasn't that great." "Silence!" Brian exclaimed as he shot wax from his hand. Zimmy now had crayons in both arms and legs. No. He was unable to move. "Any last words?" Brian cackled. Zimmy trembled. Can I not have Play-Doh legs?" Brian thought for a second, then shot wax from his hand. And there laid a tall blue crayon with the label Zimmy. Brian put his hand down and stared at the crayon as he enjoyed a bowl of his delicious spaghetti.
There's everyone else.
Epilogue. As Brian put away his spaghetti bowl, he didn't notice a steward steal into the room to grab the blue crayon that was once Zimmy. The steward carefully whittled out a body. And the crayon takes his first few steps. Brian hears a whisper of the wind blowing through the cracked window. He could swear it had a French accent with a hint of revenge. The bowl drops from his hands, and the red sauce spatters on the floor.